Well, hello everyone. My name is Passek, the Fly Fishing Fanatic, and welcome to another edition of On the Bench, Sport Fishing on the Fly. Today we will be tying up a super simple leech pattern, but super effective. This kind of material has been around for quite a long time, but over the years they've really improved it. I was just down at the Denver Fly Fishing Show in February here, and a company called Hawgfish.com. Hawgfish. These guys came out with this. It's phenomenal material. It's just loaded. It's kind of hard for you guys to see, but loaded with colors, just purples and pinks and reds and blacks and greens and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's a super simple pattern to tie, but super effective. These have been for a long time. And with this material, yeah, it's just at another level. So, but okay, so this is a whatever type of streamer hook you like. This happens to be a Hen's BL 724, a size 12. It's a 1/8 brass, gold bead, and this is Semperfli Nano Silk 12/0. So, just get that tied in. Nip off my rat tail there. Then I'm going to take some marabou. This happens to be from Hen's, but whatever brand of marabou you like, in black. And what I do, hopefully you guys can see it. Actually, I'll go out just so you guys can see this part. Some people don't. So I take my marabou off the quill and I strip it off one side and I fold it over. And I strip it off the same side and I fold it over. Strip it off, fold it over until I get the amount I want. In this case, about that much of the quill from one side. Okay, I'll go back to closer. And of course, it always does that when I do that. So, my apologies. Get that focused for you guys again. So now I've got my little package of marabou. And what I'll do here is I'll just roughly find out, give it just a little wetting, just find out roughly how long I want it. I don't want it quite that long, so I'm going to move my finger to about there. That'll do. Because you never want to cut marabou at the back end. If you're going to do it, rip it. Don't cut it. Nothing in nature is straight. So a little bit of wax. Offer that up right behind the bead. And you see how that it sometimes doesn't fold the proper way? Give it a counterclockwise spin, and you'll see that it really wants to land on top of your marabou. Okay, and I'm going to come back to about where the bend is, no further, and I'm going to go under the marabou and over and then under, and as I'm going under, I'm pulling forward towards the bead, and I do that 3 times. I'll come back, I'll take a little bit of just 1 or 2 strands, no more than 2, of crystal flash. This happens to be from Hen's again, but whatever brand of crystal flash you like. And I want to extend this past my tail. This happens to be just 2 strands. Okay. And I'm just going to bring this all the way. Now, what I'll do here is I'll make sure that it's doubled over to your side. Take my 2 to your side, 2 to my side, and make sure they stay where I want them. Okay, and then I'll cut these just at the longest feather. So it's not very much in there for flash, just a little bit. Now, again, I'm just wetting my marabou just to keep it tidy. Now, that for me, that flash is a little too long. Let me give that a cut. Now, in the field, if you find that this tail is too long, you can always move that flash out of the way and then just get in there and rip it with your fingers, right? So, but, okay. So now, I'm going to take this material. I'm just going to expose the center core a bit. Like I said, we've been using similar materials for decades up here, but similar, not the same. This stuff is it's at another level. It's a mohair on steroids. So now, see, I don't really like that right there. So I'm actually going to undo that, because there I just noticed there's a little bit of a bald spot, and I don't want to have 2-3 layers at the back of my fly where there is none of those fibers that I can pull out. So I'm just gonna, what I'll end up doing here is I'll take this and I'm gonna cut it right close to where those fibers start, and I'll just reattach. Okay, so now I'm just gonna work this forward. I'm not too overly concerned about material getting caught, because I'm going to pull this all out with a Velcro anyway. So doesn't look pretty when you're tying it, but it sure looks leechy when you're done. And one last little pull right behind there. Get nice and tight into that bead. And then in front, over top, and in front. Cut that off. And I like fishing these kind of leeches, usually at dawn and dusk and low light conditions. Anytime there's low light, darker flies with some silhouette and movement are phenomenal. I love leech fishing at dusk, just as you're, when you're fishing out there and the sun just goes down behind that mountain or whatever. Not dark, but just before. So I'm just putting a little bit of Sally's right onto my thread. And then I'll whip finish right in behind that bead. Get that in there. That way I don't have to worry too much about it. Okay, and now I'll take my whatever dubbing brush you like, and I'm just gonna brush out those fibers. And I get quite aggressive with this, just like I do with my dub leeches. Get quite aggressive, pull those mohair strands out. Right? And then I'll even go forward. Just get that, like I said, get those strands out of there. And there's like I said, there's blues in here, and purples and blacks and reds and greens and all kinds of different little colors in here. And there is the finished fly. Pretty simple. Now when this gets wet, I've got another one I tied just prior here. Just gonna get that wet for you guys. Super leechy, right? Really leechy. This one's a little shorter, but like I said, it's easy enough for me to just move the flash out of the way, and then just grab a hold of my tail and just nip it shorter. And then I can always go in and cut that, because I don't have a problem cutting flash, but I get a problem with cutting the tails. You don't want to cut a marabou and stuff. It doesn't look natural. So, and if it doesn't look natural, it's not going to flow natural. And if it doesn't flow natural, then the fish are going to know there's something wrong. So I'll just give that one a wet, just so you guys can see. It's not completely wet, but there you go. Nice and slick back. You can see those little blue filaments and green and some red in there. deadly stuff. Really cool stuff. So that's from Hawgfish. They do deliver into Canada, but yeah. Alrighty. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of On the Bench, Sport Fishing on the Fly. Tight lines, everybody.